So this is the women's R2 CrossStrata Pullover.
And this is the men's R2 TechFace Pullover.
So our jackets they're kind of the same, but kind of not. Mine's CrossStrata, yours is TechFace. Pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same.
Except for the fleece. His is squares, mine is zigzags.
It's really about shapes. The shapes is the biggest difference. I think overall, I mean, we kind of looked back on the specs and the material's the same. The material, the fleece is the same. The DWR is the same. It's PFC-Free, by the way.
Love it.
Everything's the same, just except the fleece. The fleece patterning.
Yeah, and also a little bit of the fit.
The fit is different.
It says it's the same.
They're supposed to be the same, but your forearms are way tighter than mine.
I don't know if that just means I have like really jacked forearms.
Could be.
I don't think I do. So it's just kind of weirdly tight in the forearms, and really compared to yours, the whole arm and even body a little bit, like there's a definite difference going on here. I have no wiggle. And so that's just kind of one thing I've noticed. Initially, I thought I was going to have an issue with the forearms.
Yeah.
But actually having climbed with this, both like on the place and then also rock climbing, it hasn't been an issue. It doesn't restrict mobility at all. And once you're actually using it and like climbing or moving around, it's not something that really crosses your mind. But it is an interesting thing. And like even right now thinking about it, I can absolutely feel that it's weirdly tight in the forearms.
Yeah, and I think that's just the weird randomness of TechFace is like it's still a soft shell, so it's going to stretch. But like at least from what I know for the men's, I don't think the forearms have ever been that tight at least. And from what it's looking like on you, it's like, whoa, like they are definitely tighter. And I remember you even just specifically pointing out, being like, are these sleeves going to make me pump faster?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. Like, they shouldn't. It should stretch with you, but it's just an actual, like, it's a good note to take that they are tight. And that's not, like, it's just weird that they are the same. They're supposed to be the same. There's just, why
and
are
even
they
compared
different?
to the R1 CrossStrata, the arms are tight. It's not like it's like all the women's R1s are going to be, like, tighter in the arms. It's just this one.
Just this one, which could be a thing. It's either like I know for the R1 Air, I can't wear it because it's tight in the chest for me. Randomly, it's like sleeves are short and like chest is tight, but it's the same fit across all of Patagonia. Like for like a regular fit or a slim fit, that's the one piece that just does not work for me. It could be the same thing with that, where it's like it's just the one random how they cut this jacket. That's a little tight.
Yeah. I mean, other than the forearms, though, the jacket is really nice. And, like, the fleece on the inside, really cozy. There's even fleece on the inside of the kangaroo pouch, which is so nice.
It's so nice.
Yeah. I mean, like, I have Raynaud's, and so my hands get cold very quickly, even right now, just holding the mic.
Yeah.
And so having the fleece-lined pouch has been a game changer for, like, walking around, going between climbs. It's been really helpful, and so that's something I really love and I think is super beneficial for climbing. Looking at it now as well, you could probably fit, like, at least my size, 2 climbing shoes in there.
Probably. Yeah. No, that's kind of what I was looking at too, and that's why when this piece came out from Patagonia, I was like, ooh, like this could be a good piece. I mean, they've had a pretty good track record of making good pullovers. And as soon as I saw what the material was, knowing that it's like a TechFace-esque material, TechFace CrossStrata, knowing that it's decently weather resistant, definitely not as good as anything that has a shell, like definitely not as good as like even a insulation piece that has a shell.
Yeah.
But it's going to be like windproof enough. It's going to be water resistant enough that if you get hit with bad weather, it's not going to be the end of the world.
Yeah.
But I was kind of looking at this piece as like the perfect outdoor bouldering piece when it's getting cold, because it is nice and cozy, but just for like if you're going in between burns, putting your hands in the pocket, super nice. And just knowing that it's stretchy and it's going to stretch with you as you move.
Yeah. And like that is a thing of like, although it's tight in the forearms, I have no issues with moving my arms. Like it's it's very stretchy. It moves with you. And so it's not like a hard shell that's too tight where it's like, okay, well, I feel like I'm in a sausage casing or something. Like it's it's a fleece, you know?
It's a fleece, and kind of the style of the R2 in general is that it's a lofted fleece, so it's nice and cozy, but R2 breathes decently as well because there's space in between the fleece. So it's also a jacket that it's not necessarily like you can start climbing with and you have to take off immediately. It's something that you can leave on and dump a little bit of heat while still staying pretty warm.
And even having the like half zip down here,
Yeah.
that has been really nice for regulating temperature as well.
So all in all, like this jacket is pretty good for what it does. It definitely has, I guess, shortcomings, but I think it's more due to it not being a specialized piece. I mean, if this was for fly fishing and more of like a casual fly fishing just to wear, and we're kind of using it for climbing and everything else, there's definitely going to be things that aren't climbing specific that you're going to run into being like, well, it doesn't work. Like, but for what it is, I think for bouldering, it's awesome.
For sure. I don't know how it would be for sport climbing. I think
Yeah.
bouldering would definitely be where it shines.
For sure. I mean, especially if you're going into that like shoulder season sending. I mean, just even the fact of like warming up the rocks and all that, sitting in between burns trying to warm up. This is kind of perfect for that because you can leave it on and just
I think
warm.
as well that goes with that is it's durable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be worried about brushing up against a rock and like snagging something or ripping it. I feel like I could rub against a rock and not have any damage done to the jacket.
That's something that I love about the TechFace line and the CrossStrata line is just that it's a soft shell at the end of the day, and for that reason I dry tool in TechFace series jackets. So you're right, like the ability just to brush up against something, no matter the rock quality, whether it's granite, limestone, sandstone, anything, like it's going to survive pretty good, and it's going to be a rugged piece, and it's kind of cool to have that in a hoodie form factor because it's like it's casual, it's not super technical, but it's like bomber for that reason. It's weird, but it's like cool. Like I can just kind of walk through anything, and I'm fine.
Yeah, it's all the kind of nice aspects of having a really technical piece, but in a more casual silhouette. Like you could go to the grocery store and be wearing this, and no one would bat an eye.
No, and that's definitely the coolest thing about this piece. Is that it's just a good all-around kind of do-it-aller, like basically a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it.
I think that's kind of how this jacket is, and yeah, it really is how it is for this jacket. For sure. Nice.
It's hard to do with one hand, okay?
Props.
Thank you.
Oh, no.